We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hello. How's everybody doing out there? Talking Shit, the OG show that got it all started. When I started streaming 8 o'clock on Tuesdays, who would have thought I would have been the leading voice in the complete Ford aftermarket? Could you imagine some bald Puerto Rican with a smoke machine in a tutu in Riviera Beach would have been an influential figure in this whole situation? How you guys doing? The OG show where we talk some shit. We get questions answered, talk shit, give away cookies. That's right. We give away cookies on this show. Thank you to the sponsors, and let's include them right away. Let's get right to it because we don't want to waste too much time with the whole situation. We want to thank Oh My God Cookies, 2 Auto Solutions, Calamar Transmission, the Parts Farm. If you go to the Parts Farm's Instagram right now, they must have gotten in like 10 Mustangs and Camaros. And they got door panels, and you got fucking trunk lids, and wheels, and tires, and you name it, rebuild, salvage shit. If I had like money to blow, hey yo, I would actually be buying up all the cars that they got going on. So the smoke is going on. We pre-smoked. I have the sombrero, but that's just in case some puro pinche 956 a la verga cuz decides to get in on the chat. The bubble machine is too messy. I have to mount it up there. So I'm going to mount the bubble machine right next to the globe, and what do you call it? The disco ball. And then I got to have some kind of remote control situation to turn it on remotely because I think it'd be a good look if you could see bubbles coming towards me. But when they're here, they get all over the desk and shit, and it's a bad time. Thank you everyone for liking the video initially, but now we got 141 people on and only 91 likes. Get the likes up. I want 100% like ratio. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not one of these 50%ers. I want 100% like ratio. If they got 300 people on, I need 300 likes just like that. Fresh Pasteles in the house. Martin Q, Monty 540, Mendoza's, Coyote, JD, Swag, Homestead, Johnny's. Says the turnovers have arrived. Diego Flores, Rican 50, D-Rock Fox, EPA, Andrew, Andy Ali, Boost Lee. Douche did it. Affirm in the house. Boy, you came to the right place, Affirm. Douche did it. Stick Shift the World just did a 681. I don't know who you're talking about. What? What's he talking about? Valley 10 Speed in the house. Valley 10 Speed got a Ghost Camped idle tune. Bro, doesn't that shit sound good when it's stationary, just chopping away? I didn't think it would happen, but I'm very happy because, look, he's a known guy. He's an influential dude, and a lot of people follow him. He has a very simple setup, 10R80, stock trans, stock motor, ESS, E85, a bucket for a seat, a milk crate for a seat, and gutted. The thing rolls the fuck out. And he said, hey, hit me up with this Ghost Cam shit. Hit him up with the Ghost Cam shit. Thing was popping. Hit the like button, says SK Jeff, Matt 2011GT, Javi, that one guy, Dave Redmond. What's up, brother? Angel Puerto Rico. Hey, thank you for being booty level. Guys, that works. Okay. If you don't want to answer, if you don't want to pay for questions, the best way to support this channel is to become a member. And the memberships are as little as like a couple of fucking dollars. It's not that expensive to join up in this bitch. Do you know what I am saying? Milton Perez, Torque and Beans, SK Jeff again, Jose Flores, Fresh Pasteles, Alejandro Casares, Stamza, that one guy. Let's go all the way to the bottom, Oh, you got the coffee? Oh, the young lady's got the coffee on lock. Thank you, babe. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to marry this woman. Guys, I'm going to marry this woman. You understand? You understand when a girl hooks your brother up? I might have to wife her up. Dude. This woman gets me. This woman just simply gets me. All the other ladies that failed, you failed. FLK, absolutely. Nick Vick, FLKA's missing testicular fortitude said FLKA. Hey, you said FLKA. FKA. Fuck you, buddy. Manuel, Agent Orange, Mendoza's Coyote, John Vanderveer, Dave Redman, and Chris Jameson and Valdez 1320. So, as always, let me get through about 10 or 15 minutes and we'll talk whatever shit you want to talk. Do I look a little dark here? Not my skin color, my actual the brightness. I can turn it up, but I wanted to turn it down to get some of that smoke in the background. It looks really cool coming off of the disco ball. So, tips and tricks and best most repeatable Coyote combos. What kind of coffee tonight? Regular ass Dunkin' Donuts, dude. I already ran through oh my god, cookies, medium blend Colombian, badass shit. It was gone in a heartbeat. So now I'm just rocking good old Dunkin' Donuts, just like that. Someone said no screen. Yeah, it's dark. Okay, so let's do it. Let's turn it up a little bit. Video capture device, configure video, brightness. There you go. Apply. Okay, and we are now a little bit brighter. Hopefully, this makes everything better on your end. So, some of the most repeatable combos. Some of the most repeatable combos are ones that we prefer because they just simply work. But our job is to get you in, tuned, and out of here. We're not really interested in doing a lot of custom stuff, not because we don't want to, it's because your desired outcome is the most important thing. What is the desired outcome? And that's something you, as a customer, have to figure out before you do anything. If you fancy yourself a fabricator, if you have a goal in mind, you gotta write it down on a whiteboard. Write it down on a whiteboard. What do I want to do? Right? A lot of people just do stuff and they change the combos mid build. Have you guys ever seen a combo go together? The guy doesn't really have any direction and the shop does whatever the customer says, which is, in my opinion, the wrong thing to do. I think just because the customer is paying the shop to do work, the shop should not say, okay, no problem. I'll do whatever you say. No, the shop has to have a clear, concise build process. And you have to be on their program. And if you're not on their program, then why the hell did you go there to the first place? A lot of people, a lot of customers shop for shops that will do their bidding. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And you as the mechanic is simply going to do what I want you to do. And that is not the best way to go about it. Figure out what you want to do first. What do you want to do first? Okay, let's say you have a Fox body. Drag car, 8 seconds. That's your goal, and to be able to drive it on the street, you know, in a limited fashion. Okay, do you want to do it with a stick or do you want to do it with an auto? If it's auto, do you want to do a 400 or a 6R80? Do you want an overdrive? Are you going to do a lot of highway driving? All that stuff has to be vetted first. And there's so many combos that will do what you want. But sometimes you guys fancy yourselves fabricators. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with fabricating your own kit. I have tuned so many custom singles in the last year. It's not even funny. A lot of people like the single setup. They can fit certain classes. They like the simplicity of the build. They don't have to really route too much exhaust bullshit and 2-in-1 and oil lines and all this stuff. So they do like a big single based on the the latest turbo technology that's out there. Like Jake's truck makes a lot of torque down low with a good size 80mm bullseye, and it makes 1,000 wheel and it makes good torque. So they take advantage of some of the new stuff that's out there. So before you start making bends, before you start making pie cuts, before you start making anything, get with your tuner. Even if it's not us, get with your tuner. Ask him, where do you want the MAF sensor? What is the best place to put the O2 sensors? How much exhaust or pipe do I want after the O2 sensor? You know, all those little things have to be absolutely vetted. You got to go there and go with a clear goal. And if you don't have a clear goal, get one. Don't just build something and halfway through the build, change the whole fucking combo. It just pisses off your mechanic. Your tuner now has to, like, I heard something today that took me by surprise. And it's a known guy. We know him. We like him. I like you very much. He said, well, all you guys are doing is punching keys. I'm actually doing the work. Okay. You want to piss me off real quick. Go ahead and do that. Because you contracted us to do the work. So who knows the combo better than us? You know, so I try not to denigrate mechanics or say you suck or do it right. But when you start saying stuff like, well, all you're doing is punching keys, that's kind of, for a tuner that fancies himself a tuner. I don't. I am a file sharer, and I adjust the file pretty well. I took the tuner badge off of my shit a long time ago. I don't just say, well, you're just a dumb mechanic. No, I never say that. I say, dude, you're good. Like people at Finish Line, HPJ. By the way, shout out to HPJ. Even though Joe Rogan didn't name you by name, Joe Rogan kind of, according to Second Shift Racing, Joe Rogan kind of mentioned HPJ, but not by name, because I don't think Joe Rogan is into the car scene that heavy. I think he's sort of in the car scene and he has amazing cars, but he doesn't know the inside baseball of the Amory. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, the other thing, so tips and tricks, right? Figure out your build, figure out what you want to do first, figure out your goals, and then ask your tuner what's the best way to get there. And if you fancy yourself a fabricator, get with your tuner before you do anything. Now, the other thing is verifying parts with your tuner. Now, many times you guys are starting to see used parts being sold everywhere. The Affirm build showed up. The Affirm build showed up. You heard that Torque Storm's coming out with a supercharger, and you're like, oh, I might want to get in on that. So you're starting to see a lot of parts hit the market. I'm selling my Vortex kit. A lot of people like, Alex, I'm interested in your Vortex kit. I'm going to email you. Nobody has emailed me. Alex, I'm interested in the GT500. I'm going to email you. No one has emailed me. So I'm probably keeping both. That's fine. So a lot of people are starting to say, hey, I have this injector because I bought it used in the marketplace. I want to tune for these injectors. And then we send the tune, and the tune is not acting like it's supposed to act, or the car is not starting. And you're like, well, dude, the tune is verified. I've done this tune a million times. Check your shit, check your shit, check your shit. So I think it's a very good idea to verify all of the parts you have before you fill out. And I know this sounds really easy. And a lot of you guys were, what do you mean? Nobody verifies the parts? No. Some people say, well, I bought 1050s from my buddy. I bought a PMAS no tune required, and I bought an 18 manifold ported. And then in reality, you have stock 15 to 17 injectors, a PMAS tune required intake, and a 17 manifold painted black. And you go, oh, I don't have any. And you're starting to see a lot of people do this scam shit. Facebook, Mustang 6G, Instagram. They're starting to sell you shit that doesn't work. I could swear to God, I have recycled the same CJ, TJ69, Steeda cold air intake through about 7 California cars. The throttle body has acted up from day one, and all they do is sell it. They don't tell me nothing. They don't tell me they changed combo. They just say, Alex, I went boosted. Oh, you went boosted? So what happened to the CJ? Then 2 days later, an order comes in, and I go, CJ, Steeder cold air intake, TJ69. Interesting. Then send him a base file. He disappears, goes boost the next day. And it's like the same parts that are, okay, parts that I would not buy used. Parts that I would not buy used. Injectors and throttle bodies. And if I do buy injectors new, I would want them cleaned somewhere reputable like a Havoc Speed or FIC before I install it in the car. Now, the reason I say that is because we had a couple of customers send us pictures of their injectors only for us to tell them that's a stock injector. Dude, that's a bone stock injector. And they go, holy shit. I had another gentleman say he had a PMAS, no tune required intake. What does that mean? That means that the PMAS came with a PMAS sensor that's calibrated already. And I don't have to do anything in the tune, hence the name no tune required, to the calibration. Come back, the bitch is lean. And I go, why is it lean 30%? Do you have E85 in the tank? Nope, it's pump gas. Do me a favor, take a picture of the mass airflow sensor. And right on the front of the sensor says FOMOCO, Ford Motor Company. And I go, that is a bone stock mass airflow sensor. That is a PMAS tune required. So verify your parts and figure out what you're going to do way before you do it. Now, what are the most common Coyote combinations that just work? Any TVS, and any front feed Whipple at 20 psi on E85 on any Coyote should go 8s or low 9s. I don't care what injector over 1000 cc. Any TVS 2.6, any 2.9 or 3.0 Whipple on any generation vehicle should go 8s at about 20 psi. It's all about how you want it to look under the hood. Now, if you guys want to start talking about ARs and turbo this and 20 psi, pretty much any boost, anywhere, even an on-3 kit, as long as you don't have valve flow, should go 8s. So if your goals isn't 8s, right, then your power adder choices become real simple. It could be a nice, cute looking Vortex, Paxton, ESS, Whipple, TVS, Edelbrock, whatever you want. But a lot of people always say, what's the best combo for blah? Every boosted combo, almost every boosted combo at 20 PSI goes 8s. So if your goal is not 8s, choose whatever fucking blower you think looks best under the hood. Like the best looking blower or turbo setup to you, buy that and put it in your car. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. So people severely overthink. They say things like I remember watching a Dude in Blue video that blew my fucking mind. He goes, the reason I like the Pro Charger the best, and I think it was a Pro Charger video, he says because it's the best it's the one that drives the best. And I went, what the fuck are you talking about? I have driven some Pro Charger. It's all about the tuning. I've driven some Pro Charger cars that are tuned by bogus tuners that surge, buck, pop, decel weird. So when he says that, a lot of people go, oh, Pro Charger's the best drivability blower. Who buys a blower for best drivability? Who buys a blower for best drivability? Think about it. What blowers are in OEM style cars? What blowers are in OEM style cars? Right? Whipple, TVS, like a 14 GT500, 1340 M122, just like a twin screw piece of junk. TVS's and Roushes. And those things drive pretty good. But for whatever reason, people get stuck on the stock throttle body stuff has the best drivability. Not necessarily if the tuner sucks. So guys, vetted combos that have been out there for years. Don't get too fancy. Figure out your goals, verify your parts, get with your tuner, go from there. A lot of people are getting scammed online. A lot of people are severely overthinking the builds. And you're going to see a lot of stuff go up for sale because we're in a recession. I'm sorry that maybe you guys didn't realize we are in a recession. Look at gas. Look at inflation. I think I bought like 5 things at Publix. It was $150 for nothing for one dude. We are in a recession. You're going to see a lot of parts come up for sale. So build out your stuff properly. Ask your tuner. Make sure you have goals in place and go from there. You might end up in a good position. Let's talk some shit. We got 387 people on, 264 likes. Let's get them up. Come on, guys. Let's get them up. I want a race car, but I want it to drive like stock. You have no idea how often I hear stuff like that, and I go, you don't know how this works. We got Hector Vasquez says, dumb question. I got a 13 GT500 and I want to get tuned by Lund. Pump 93 for now. 69 millimeter VMP throttle body, 123 millimeter cold air. 2.4 pulley. What plugs in gap? Isn't it the TR6s? Isn't it the TR6s on those things? Or the Brisk 14s? Brisk 14s or TR6s, and then the gap is going to be 26 to 28 thousandths. That's a very pretty straightforward setup, Hector Vasquez. Alex, you said this and you said that. He did the Pro Charger 1 VMP on both of his S197 and S550. And you know why that is, right? Sponsorship. Guys, let's not get it twisted. Guys that are on YouTube get blowers that are given to them for sponsorship and so that the company looks good. Did you guys see a kid that had a 07 GT500? He went from having a TVS to a Whipple back to a TVS. Like, imagine how many bridges that kid burned during that process. And the car never went quick. He went way too fancy with aftermarket tuning. Didn't he get Holly or some shit like that? It was a black. Look, it's got the chops. It's got the right stuff in it. But the problem is he went too far with it without thinking his build over. He wanted to build a stick shift GT500 and beat the record. I think the record is still held. We're talking GT500, not 4-valve bullshit, not micro. We're saying GT500. Quickest stick GT500, I think it's at 850 something by Billet Pro Shops still. Quickest 4-valve is owned by some Cobra with a slipper clutch. So you can say this or that about that setup. But with a regular style, street style clutch, the record's 850 something. This kid went from a TVS, then he went to a Whipple, pissing off the TVS company, and then he went back to the TVS, pissing off the Whipple company. And honestly, I always thought that weird. And I was offered blowers. I have been offered blowers ever since the last blower I was offered and kept was the Edelbrock. And that was the dumbest fucking thing I ever did. And I'm going to tell you why. The person that got me that blower left town. And then went to a competitor. And I went, so I don't need to run this blower no more. Like, I'm loyal to people, not parts. So if you want me to rep your blower and you skip town to the direct competitor, I'm going to think, well, I'm not really going to push this blower that hard. Because why? Who is my point of contact? Who is the person I'm supposed to be reporting to with my findings? Nobody. And I am wearing out my equipment. Thank you for the blower, which probably cost you guys $4,000 to make. But the whole car, motor, trans, and drivetrain, that's on me. Y'all ain't paying me for that. And the boy just skips town. So I said, nah, I am not repping any blowers anymore. And I got offered another blower after that. And I said, thank you, but no thank you. Because this is what should happen in that situation. If a company wants me to rep their part, they have to pay me a monthly nut. I am not going to rag out my equipment for a blower that cost $4,000. Sorry. So I said, no one's willing to do that. Another company did do that. They gave a racer like $30,000 on top of the blower to cover racing costs. And I'm like, that's interesting. That's an interesting way of doing it. Interesting. Relax, Mob Motor Ray. This isn't the Mexican hat smoke DeRoot show. That happens once in a while. It's not guaranteed to happen all the time. 2018 10R80, 2650 TVS, 14,000 miles, $42,000 a good deal. Boy, that's a little high in my opinion. Ford installed package. Oh, no. You're telling me a Roush TVS? Nope. Not worth $42,000. I'm sorry. A 4-year-old car with a Roush dud blower, in my most humble of opinions, not my forte. Alex, there are 2019 Mustangs GTs better than the 2018s? Yes, absolutely. The reason being the manual specifically has the downshift rev matching, has a completely different strategy. And it just brings the driving experience to a whole nother level when you have the downshift rev matching feature. Because when you have it and then you get in a car that doesn't have it, you end up missing it 100%. Hector, they will address them when you order the initial tune. We could have been together, could have been matching blowers. Only people that have never driven fast cars think that they need 800 to 1,000 for a daily. Right. A lot of people are out there saying some stuff like, hey, I want to make 1,000 horsepower dailyable car. And I said, that's really stupid. You have no idea what 800 feels like dailyable. 1,000 is useless dailyable. Like if you have a 20% 2.4 upper, cams, big honking throttle body, this and this and that. And look, do you know how many people are starting to experience fail-safe throttle bodies in this heat? Now that we're in the thick of summer, now you're starting to see failing throttle bodies. Hey, Alex, my idle got really high real quick for no reason. Where do you live? Massachusetts. Did it just start to get hot up there? Yup. Welcome to a fail-safing throttle body. What do you mean it didn't do it when? In the winter? In the winter? You mean it didn't do it in the winter at all when it was 30 degrees, 40, 50 degrees outside? Now it's 80, 90 degrees outside, and now the motor is having an issue controlling the blade at wide open throttle? Welcome to the world of fail-safing throttle bodies, where the problem only shows up when you actually need the blower the most, when you're racing somebody or when the weather is nice out. TR7, thank you. I thought it was TR6s. Are you talking Cody? He has the same engine builder as me. Yes. He went from TVS to Whipple to TVS, and the car never made a quicker pass than 9-something. And I want him to get his shit right, but I never heard back. I never heard from that car ever again. It just like disappeared off the face of the earth. Alex, predictable boost APSI pulley on 350 predictable boost APSI pulley, 350 manifold long tubes ESS spun at 7,500 RPM. Is there a formula to use to figure out actual PSI? Scott, why do you want 8 PSI? Let's just, guys, dumb it way down. Why do you want 8 PSI specifically? Like, why do you want 8 PSI and you want to know exactly what formula makes 8 PSI? Why do you want, that sounds like a road racer where he needs to know stuff that you really don't need to know. Like, you don't, why do you want 8 PSI specifically and the formula to calculate 8 PSI specifically? I thought Mustang Lifestyle bought his car. No idea. I had no idea. Alex, I got a Salvador Cortez says, I got a 20 GT 6-speed. I want to boost daily drive and don't want to spend too much time under the hood. Just something fun on the road, something similar to your 19. Would Vortex be good? I've seen the issues you've encountered. What issues have I encountered? Lack of boost, which have been fixed. Typically, making about 12, which could be belt slip. But it's not the blower's fault or the configuration of the blower. The only issues I've had is making sure the car sees plenty of boost. But in terms of being under the hood, it still has the same belt it came with. The kid probably has 30,000 miles on it. It has the same belt. It's probably needing a belt and maybe a tensioner upgrade. But I don't care that much. It's a dailyable car. It's not a race car. I'm not really stressing it all that much. Dailyable, says Monty540. Might be a dumb question, but why do throttle bodies fail in excessive heat? Well, think about it, line of lads. The throttle bodies are controlled by a motor. What would cause a motor to fail quicker than anything? Or have issues with binding, right? When metal gets hot, it expands and it can potentially bind. I was blown away that a lot of throttle bodies had a brass blade and a steel outer section body. Which grows faster, brass/bronze or steel in terms of expansion? Think about it. For those of you that are millwrights, the AccuFab 84.5 throttle body has actually worked out really well for my Gen 1. Don't think there's another Gen 1 throttle body that isn't a problem maker. Correct. The Kenny Bell 168 is great. I have it on my GT500. It has phenolic gears. It has special tweaks made by John Sr. based on his recommendations, because the stock 168 comes with brass/bronze gears, unless AccuFab, which I think AccuFab now finally owns Kenny Bell. Am I right? Did AccuFab finally buy Kenny Bell? If that's the case, I can't talk shit on Kenny Bell that much because the legit person now owns it. But if you look at a stock 168 and you open up the side where the gears are located that actuate the motor or are responsible for the blade opening and closing, they were made of bronze/brass. Senior took my throttle body that's in the GT500 and he got a gear set that was like a phenolic gear set, so it makes it less prone to expand in heat. And I've never had a closure issue with that throttle body. What I want to test some theories I have on that car, and if I keep it, which looks really likely that I'll keep it, because I bought a Sprag setup. I'll show you that real quick. Check it out. I bought a Sprag setup for that car so I can actually drive it on the street. Look at this. From Cohen Converters. I forgot about this, guys. So I got this from Cohen Converters. Let me get rid of this comment here. So basically what they got me was just a bunch of gears and shit, right? You have to take your converter out Put all this shit in it, convert it to a Sprague diode. Actually, they call it a diode on their end of things. And it has a ratcheting mechanism on it. And the ratcheting mechanism basically will allow the converter to not freewheel as much when you're out there cruising. So this is what a diode slash... It ratchets one way, right? It's a one-way diode so that when you're actually driving the car, it actually slows the converter down or makes it less likely to freewheel. Not necessarily a lockup, but kind of like a lockup that is mechanical. So you can actually drive the sucker on the street and not have the engine live at 4,000 RPMs when you're just cruising. This was like $600. I bought it because I want to convert the car to something more manageable on the street. And according to them, this will actually improve my ETs and 60 foot times because, for lack of a better word, it'll make the converter transfer more of the power to the rear wheels because it's slipping less. So I just, just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that situation. A little bit of an update, but yeah, that was a $600 part because I'm thinking I'm going to keep the GT500. And since the 168 throttle body works really well because after Senior rebuilt it, I mean, look, if I put some exhaust in it and AC, that'd be a bad bitch. AC and a catback exhaust like a Magnaflow Adult Series, dude, it'd be a bad bitch. Who is this idiot Pride Month? Let me get him out. Let's not delete it. Let's oh, he's already hidden on the channel. Thank you very much. Good job. I guess a lot of people get on just to spam. And it's funny because it must be a fan. But each user account gets deleted. It's crazy. Why would you do that? Not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to what you do with the blue car. Come to Saudi and I'll show you what we do. Why? Why do I want to come to Saudi? Tell me what's good about Saudi. Tell me what's awesome about Saudi that I gotta go there. No, thank you. Easy 7s now. I don't think easy 7s. I think what'll happen is it'll go back to what it should be running, which is like a 8.1, 8.0. And I can actually drive it on the street because according to Coan, C-O-A-N, the converter company, they said this thing, you shouldn't even be driving it 1 mile. You will have excessive heat. That converter, it's a 258. It's going to be ridiculously hot. It's not even worth driving a mile. I'm like, God damn it, thank you. So got that diode and we'll see what the deal is. I'm going to get some quick jacks, take the trans out myself because I am not waiting for Mikey anymore. Fuck all that. I love him, but he's just taking too long. Just way too long. More mile per hour, I'm guessing also. According to them, yes. It just makes everything work better and more efficiently. So what I'm going to do is take the trans out, take the converter to Jake. Jake is more familiar with that stuff. We're going to go ahead and put the diode in it, Sprague diode, whatever you want to call it. Then I'll come back, put it back in the car, put it back and see what the deal is. I saw an older video. Did you find out if it's possible to switch from electronic to manual throttle body control? We're working on that. Again, it is taking a long time. Put AC and enjoy it. Talked about that. Everything that is in that was in that car, rear seats, everything, the old owner still has it. So Randall, I'm talking to you, Randall Hadid. We got to get all those pallets shipped back to Florida. All with the rear seats, with the AC, with all the fucking shit. We need all that shit shipped back to Florida. I'll pay. Just let me know. You had a lot of views on that GT500. I did, so I'm just going to keep it. Fuck it. Hey, look, someone wants it. It's 70. If you don't want it, don't comment on it. Do you know how many people comment on that video just to hate on it? All they do is hate on that GT500, and they are broke. They have no money. They have no money. I look at someone sell a McLaren, a ZR1, and I'm like, I ain't got that kind of money. But does that make me want to comment on it? Fuck no. Absolutely no. Exactly as I can do the AC for you, Alex. I can do the AC. I appreciate that, though. Probably Turvey, not you, Pride. Lionel Ladd says, the sex on that GT500 isn't selling. I would have loved to see you in the ZR1. Lionel Lads, I'm still getting the ZR1. Don't get it twisted, gentlemen. The ZR1 is coming. I wanted to make it easier to just go from a GT500 to a ZR1, but that ZR1 is coming. I want a ZR1. I will get a ZR1. It might be late summer, but I'm going to get a ZR1. Bet that. Bet me on that shit. Yeah, you get to see sand. Like, why would I want to go to Saudi? Pride Month is over, Johnny. They'll probably give you ragged out chicks in Saudi. Right. Wait till you come to Saudi and see how we do it. See how you do what exactly? Any issues with the On3 Turbo Kit and tuning it? The only issues I've seen with the On3 Turbo Kit is a lazy O2 signal based on the O2 location. The O2 location, in my most humble of opinions, is a little on the far side, and you get lazy fuel trims. So what ends up happening is you shut off the fuel trims at a certain RPM and load, and then you tune off of air-fuel ratio, and then once more velocity passes through the O2 so that they're happy, all of a sudden everything is good. But you don't shut off the O2 sensors, no, but you can kind of ignore certain things once more airflow gets into the O2s. That's the only thing I've seen with On3 kits that seems to be a consistent issue with them. Alex, will a bigger transcooler help with the heat? Alfredo Diaz, according to Cohen, no. According to Jake, no. It has a badass transcooler in it already. Come to Saudi, we have the Shikis. You see, Cleat got an S197 RTR drift car. Oh my God, don't get me started. Look, God bless that kid. God bless that kid. McCosco sold Quick Jacks at one point. Haven't been there in a minute or so. Got to ride camels to go to the store. On3 is great for 2,000 miles or so is the issue. Has Lund tuned many boosted 21 Mustang? A shitload. I've tuned every single combo on a 21 and up Mustang. ESS, Vortex, Pro Charger, Odin, and Whipple. I've done it all. We've done it all. What's better? What's a better buy? A Gen 2 or a Boss 302? Guys, I don't know how you guys need to hear this. The Boss 302 is a better buy than any S550 if you want to have an exclusive premium Coyote car. A GT S550 is a GT S550. Yes, they're comfortable. Yes, they're stout. But it's no Boss 302. The Boss 302 has an allure to it. Has a name behind it. It doesn't handle as good as the S550 performance package. But the Boss 302 has a badass engine. So, gun to my head, look, like I always say, if I make it, I want all the cars. I don't want to get rid of any cars. If I could afford a Laguna Seca Silver and Red Boss 302, I'd get it. If I want a Grabber Blue S550 or a Roush RS3 S550 Gen 2, I'd get it if I can swing it. I want everything. But a better buy, in my opinion, is the Boss 302. If I have a 19 GT with a Vortex kit stock pulley, what's stock, 3.6 or 3.8? With FIC 1000 and a BAP, can I run E85? No. No boost, no E85 with boost ever without a fuel system, period. Oh, ZR1 Fun. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Matt. Matt's a bro. Matt, let's do this. You are now a moderator for the chat. You are on every chat. You are on every show. You are constantly making content. You're constantly on both shows, both channels. You've shown me, like JD Swag and YouTube Corrupt, your consistency, and I want to thank you. And I've made you a moderator, brother. Appreciate you very much. Alex, in your opinion, what's the best sounding exhaust for the 18 GTs? Honestly, a stock exhaust is pretty awesome. I like my Magnaflow, but I'm biased. But I like a H-pipe because the X-pipe to me is a little high rasp, but it works on my car. An H-pipe equipped Magnaflow Street Series with long tubes like I have, but with an H-pipe, I think is the best sounding. The Parts Farm. In the house. I got a real big question about tunes and injections on the 85. I want max effort NA. Can you tune it for the fire? I need the fire. The Parts Farm understands our struggle 100%. Are you going to make a diode video with Jake? Watching Jake lay down some knowledge is awesome. Maybe. People say, why a $100,000 Mustang? What the hell is up with the $250,000 ZR1? More blue car content for us. Hey, it's going to have to happen. This weekend, I'll get in it and I'll drive it and show you how high the RPMs stay when I'm just daily driving it so that you can see the difference when I do install the diode in the converter. What's up, Alex? Says F1 Shitty. Hence the name Section Hate. Right. Do the own throttle bodies have issues frequently? The TJ69, and I am not saying this because I dislike VMP. I am not saying this because of any other reason than pure facts. 50% of TJ69s fail. I am not saying that to be biased. I don't have skin in the game. To me, the best twin bore throttle body out there is still the Twin 67, but VMP now redesigned something and made a Twin 69. And 50% fail rate. And before they say, we don't see that, we tune 4 to 1 what you tune. No offense. It's 50% fail rate. What octanium do you recommend? The purple one. The purple one, the purple one, the purple one. First, C601 with a driver mod, probably. Time of low finance rates has passed for now. Understood, and I don't mind paying a little more money. I'm here, start over. Would you trade that car for a 350R? Woo! Would I trade the GT500 straight up for a GT350R? I'm going to have to say yes. I'm going to have to say yes. It's a 350R. Guys, I mean, I love Section 8, and it's an 8-second car. But you're asking me if I would trade the GT500 for a GT350R. Probably, guys. Probably. Black, no stripes. Yeah, I probably would. Is a Vortex V7 worth the upgrade over the V3? Aiming for 900 real horsepower on a Gen 3? Yeah, I think the V7, based on the oil feeding situation and just the overall design of the blower, I think you're more likely to make 900 easier with a V7 than a V3. The V3 is a self-contained unit. They rag on you overspinning the slinger with a 3.3 or smaller than 3.6 pulley. So the V7 might be the one you want to go for. How to ride camels to the supermarket. I actually just got back from Dubai, but a bad place. Wouldn't want to live there though. Nick Rogers, it gave me $10. Thank you, sir. Let me get all the way to the bottom and get the paid chats. I don't want to miss any of the paid chats because you guys get on me. Clyde 115, thank you for the $10. Appreciate you. The drift car is gonna need OPGs bouncing the rev limiter in the future. Isn't it a small block Ford? Isn't it? I'm sorry, a big inch Ford. I don't think it's an overhead cam. It's a carbureted car, isn't it? Alex will get caught up in an arranged marriage in Saudi Arabia. Some guy got cyberbullied so bad on Cleet's fan page. Dude almost ended it. Oh, no. Odin or Whipple, are they built differently? Of course they're built differently. What, are you kidding me? Come on. Look, the Odin is built by Magnuson, designed by VMP. Magnuson is a stout company. They used the Eaton 2650 rotors, and they designed a pretty damn good case around it. In my most humble of opinions, unported, unworked, a Whipple 3.0, Odin, same shit. Same power potential, same peak power potential, all that shit. Now, you start custom porting it, putting that blower in a billet Coyote that revs to 9,800 RPMs. Yeah, the Whipple's gonna make more power. Plain and simple. Alex is balling. We got walked by a Nissan Murano today. Gotta love that too, Valve. Life. Oh my lord. 2011 GT. Finally, he's always on. Yes, he's a badass. I love that guy. He's on all the freaking time. Thinking about trading my 20 Mustang for a brand new 2022 F-150 regular cab just because the 4x4 would be great for the snow. I mean, yeah. But again, if you're looking to tune it, you're going to have a big delay. I had a 312 on a Vortex. The V3 did not survive the test on the 312. Now, if I can't sell my Vortex, I would hit up Vortex and say, can you either upgrade my unit for a V7 or can you take it in on a trade on a V7? Because I want to go turbo on the white car. I'd rather just sell the kit outright, in my opinion. Coilovers or lowering springs, it all depends on what you want to do. Static is fine, but if you want adjustability, coilovers, Jesus Christ. Well, static and bags. I like a regular spring. I'm not a big coilover fan. Not gonna lie, I rode the Camel when I was in Dubai. Other than Ferrari World being fun, I don't see the hype. Whipple for the win. Sorry, not sorry. That's fine. He could say that all he wants. That's his opinion. The mag is on the LT4, isn't it? I don't know. I think all the RTR drift cars have Roush Yates engine with Paxton, if I remember correctly. 13 Boss 302 or 17 350 for a fun daily. Guys, you're comparing apples to oranges right there. The 350 is a better car. It's probably the best triathlete. We've said this a million times on this channel. I don't want to sound redundant. It's the best triathlete. If you get a tech package GT350, you get the 350 brakes, you get the 350 Voodoo, the shitty trans, but it is a awesome NA car. NA versus NA, Boss versus 350. The 350 is a better car. The engines don't last long. The Voodoo, the Roadrunner is a better engine for power potential, but the car itself, 350. Is the Odin also made in China? No, according to everything I know, it's made by Magnuson in California. Alice, in your opinion, why do supercharger companies use a TVS rotor pack instead of making their own? Boy, you got to understand. Eaton doesn't make rotor packs just for cars. There are industrial applications. There are insane industrial applications for rotors. So if you're going to make your own like Whipple does, you at least have control of the design. But haven't you guys found it funny? And I'm sure every Whipple guy right now listening to this is going to yell at his computer, phone, or TV. Isn't it funny how the rotors start to mimic TVS's more and more once the Whipples start to make more power? Did you guys notice that the 2.3 liter TVS was donkey stomping the shit out of the 2.3 Whipple, 2.9 rear feed Whipple, and most of the front feed 2.9 Whipples? Once they started changing the rotor design to more mimic, kind of not necessarily exactly to a T, but did you guys notice that the case design changed based on the rotor design? And all of a sudden, the Gen 3 Whipple started looking kind of like a TVS. Not necessarily exactly, but isn't it funny how that works? Also, 430 watching and 352 likes. That's pretty good. Guys, that's pretty damn good. That's like a 75% ratio. I like that very much. I have a V7 JT with a 348 on my 16 GT, 18 manifold, running 85, made over 700 wheel. That doesn't seem like a lot. That seems kind of low. Doesn't that seem kind of low? I have a V3 with that pulley, and it makes 720 wheel. Boss is cheaper. That's it. Trade the GT500 as it sits for the ZR1 you want? No. Well, yes, probably. If someone said, Alex, straight trade for a 30,000 mile 2010 ZR1 without the dash unsticking from the fucking back, yeah, I'd probably trade it. Absolutely. I love the 302, but I'd probably take a 350. Exactly. Look at you with the blue wrench mark on your shit. Good for you, brother. Just Magna Ride for daily puts the 350 in the lead. RTR Mustangs have Roush blowers. It boosted because of Von Gitten's relationship with Ford. Guys, it has a carbureted Roush Yates engine. It is not fuel injected at all. Just bought Turvy intake for the Camel. Nice. Bondo Bird confirmed Whipple is Chinese. Oh. Alex, I was driving and started hearing a rattle on my IRS file. My driver's side axle nut loose. What do I do with that information? Tell me exactly what I need to do with that information. My Camel gets 5 pounds of shit a mile. Jason, that's pretty good. Jason, you might be in the running for the cookies. 5 pounds of shit a mile. Jason. Jayson. First comment. That's pretty good. So, hey, Alex, do you think using a second fuel solenoid on an RPM window switch would be a good idea to mitigate nitrous lean spec on activation? Honestly, what I tell people okay, so if you guys are not aware of this, most nitrous applications on Coyotes have a momentary lean spike. And I think it has to do with the nitrous solenoid coming in and then having the computer, it just shows a lean spike. And I think the nitrous starts to be seen by the computer before the fuel makes its way to the combustion. So you'll see a momentary lean spike in the data log, and then you'll typically see fueling come back. And that's when I can tell. That's why I tell you guys this. If you have a nitrous kit and I say, let's do a nitrous active hit, start the pull in third gear, start the pull at 3,000 RPMs, floor it, activate the nitrous at 4,000 RPMs, deactivate the nitrous at 7,000 RPMs, end the pull at 7,500 RPMs. So in the data log, I see a spike, fuel trims, and then usually by the end of the log, I can see where the nitrous stopped being sprayed. In my opinion, a slightly bigger fuel jet takes care of the problem, but I think your thinking is on the money. Using a second fuel solenoid on an RPM window switch probably would be a good idea to get the fuel in there slightly sooner than the nitrous. Alex, in your opinion, is a Watts link worth it? For what? You need to be so specific, man. Because that's like asking me, is an anti-roll bar worth it? For what? Like, Alex, is an anti-roll bar worth it? For the street? No. For the street, you're going to hate having an anti-roll bar back there. You're going to hate it. You're going to want to disconnect it while you drive around. But a Watts link for what? Road racing? Some people like it. Some people like the effect. But if for daily driving or for just like a weekend warrior type situation, you're probably severely overthinking the setup, bro. Hello, everyone. I'm back. Bless all of you. Jesus Christ. How you doing, Jesus Christ? After a bang, I get about 5 minutes of work done before 10 minutes of shit. The camel's always on his toes. Let's save the camel talk for hump day. I'm not here hump day. Second shift race says, fan of both designs. The operations principles are different. One is an air mover. The other was an air compressor. Hence, the different power curves. Sorry, I forgot to ask, is that common? Mr. Okay. You guys got one. You know what happens? I say one guy might win the cookies, and you guys start going on camel jokes. He was funny. You guys, you're just following right now. Anyone get a good Father's Day deal on a red S550? Whipple is using the camels to deliver their blowers. Right, Greg Silverman. The steering wheel, the nut behind my steering wheel is loose. What do I need to do? Like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with that information. We were talking about the best vetted combos and not to get hosed by people that are selling stuff. Also, saving watt for the dyno. I'm starting to see a lot of people putting their car together for the first time, booking a dyno session, and then at the dyno session, finding out the car has a massive vacuum leak. I mean, imagine you build your car and you have to rent out a dyno for 2 or 3 hours at a time, right? And then you all of a sudden go, hey, Alex, I sent you the idle and slow revs. Yeah, it's 30% lean, dude. What? It's 30% lean. Well, can you tune around it? No. You got to do a smoke check. What do you mean I got to do a smoke check? I'm on the dyno. That's not my fault that you decided to do the idle, slow revs, and watt all on the same day. The best thing to do after you put your car together is a smoke test like PK Auto Designs does. Shout out to PK Auto Designs. Every time they finish a blower build, PK Auto Design does a smoke test. And then the next email I get from the guys at PK Auto Design is, Mr. Alex, idle and slow revs attached. Smoke test performed, came back positive. Had a slight leak on the math, remedied that, verified, no leaks. Here's a log. Every blower car PK Auto Design has been done in 3 or 4 revisions. I love them. They do smoke tests before they even send us logs. Shout out to you guys. Love you guys. Yesterday's TVS is today's Whipple. Oh my God. JD. Oh, they don't ship to fucking Canada. God damn it, JD Swag. Don't you have a plug in the US that can drive the cookies over? Fuck, JD Swag, that's good shit. Camels don't care how hot it is when you race them. Nothing is worse for a dyno tuner than a car that is not finished and wasted a lot of hours. How many of you dyno tuners out there, you know you listen to me. You know you listen to me. How many of you dyno tuners, let's get some more smoke up in this bitch, talk some shit. This is dead. Hey, I'm hitting you. Let's go. There you go. How many of you dyno tuners have look at the fucking thing come through. Have been on the dyno and all of a sudden the guy goes, dyno ready. It's dyno ready. You strap it on the dyno, you turn it on and it turns on a little suspicious. And then immediately has issue after issue after issue. And theoretically, as a dyno tuner, you should just take your laptop and go, car's not finished. Pick it up when it's finished. What do you mean? You gotta tune it. My job is to tune it. My job is not to wrench on it. Because now I charge you different. If I have to get up off my seat, because I'm a programmer at this point, right? If you took it to me as a dyno tuner, you didn't take it to me as a mechanic on a dyno. I am a dyno tuner. So I am supposed to make sure your car should be dyno ready. So why do I have to fuck around with anything? No, if it's dyno ready, that means everything's done, smoke checked, runs good, the bass file's legit. You should have set me idle and slow revs. Motherfucker show up to the dyno all jacked up. You're coming in a little too high power. Where is that? Do I have that here? There we go.
Check this out, fool. You're coming a little too high.
Do you ever get people who sends you data log for a tune without installing the parts, wondering what's wrong? Every single day, Zachary Lopez. Every single day, Zachary Lopez. Logs attached. It's 30% lean, bro. I'm sorry. It's 30% rich. Send me a picture of your engine bay. And wouldn't you know it, the engine bay has stock fucking cold air installed still. And I said, you didn't install the JLT or PMAS or Roush no insert. Well, I wanted to make sure the tune was right before I put the parts in. What the fuck are you talking about? Got remote dyno tuned by you Friday 93, then moved on to E85. Really good experience and no issues. Just want to say thank Alex Clyde. If I'm not mistaken, he had a Whipple with a 3.7 pulley. It made like 680, then 730 or something like that. T56 car. What a great experience. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Switch over to E85. Here you go. Here you go. Bye. Shit was done. Shout out to you, Clyde, for building a badass ride. They don't want the smoke. What the fuck? Is that a smoke machine? It's a smoke machine. I didn't know it was a fucking smoke machine back there. I had a bubble machine in this bit, but it made a mess. I got to mount it up there when I get some time. I remember my old boss getting so pissed because the guy scheduled the dyno, put it together the night before, and it had a head gasket leak. Leaked oil all over the place. Your house is on fire. Do I need to install the parts before the dyno? Dyno ready with missing nuts and bolts. Tony must be so confused. He sees light and smoke coming from the bottom of the door. He does, and he pushes the door open because he has no idea what's going on. That room looks like my garage when I blow the rings. Dave Redmond says, I got a 19 GT with a PP2 package. I want to get Brett Barber... You want to get it ported. Built bullet throttle body. 350. No. How about no? It's all dumb shit. It's all dumb shit. All that shit you just mentioned is dumb shit. You basically told me you want to build a bullet. You said you want to get a GT throttle, a bullet throttle body, a 350 manifold, a GT350 intake, and a JLT filter with a GT500 airbox. What are you trying to achieve there? I can almost argue that a ported 18 manifold with a stock throttle body and a JLT or a PMAS will make within 2 horsepower of the combination you just mentioned. You think with a 350 manifold, 350 throttle body, it's going to make 20 or 30 more than a ported 18 manifold, stock throttle body, and a JLT or PMAS? If you want a lot of issues, look, it'll probably tune fine, Dave Redmond. But what I'm trying to tell you is this. The power difference is negligible. You will not see the money you're spending for a bullet throttle body, a GT350 intake manifold, a GT500 airbox, like that fucking matters. What are people doing? PMAS or JLT, or even a Roush no insert, cold air. Stock throttle body, ported AT manifold if you want to port it. Man. And then I bet she's going to want a cam loped idle tune on top of that. And wonder why it idles weird. Come on, man. Come on, dude. Keep it simple. Now, can we tune it? Yes. Have we seen massive differences from that setup to the others? Fuck no. It is not a matter of tuning it. It's a matter of the money you're spending for the desired results will not be there. They will not be there. Yeah, just buy a blower at that point, right? It don't make no sense. Freedom Pipes, he said. Red Band probably is gonna be $100 from a beefcake special. Right, put a 350 badges on the car, look like a 350 and still be slow. No, let's not. He's basically asking if there's gonna be any tuning issues. Answer, no. Is it gonna make a lot more power than a stock manifold ported stock throttle body in a JLT or PMAS? No, not at all. Smile says, look what would Jesus do? He's in here, I need answers. Ragged out like many of your moms. You obviously don't have fire alarms. I do, but this smoke is not, it doesn't smell like anything. It smells like, it's actually cold. It's kind of weird. It shouldn't be. Now I see what the aftermarket part companies are getting their money from. I am blown away that people still think that porting makes a noticeable difference on a stock pump gas car. I am blown away that they go ported intake, and I go, how much money, how much power did it make? Meaning, this is the way to test it out. Stock tune 2019 Mustang. Stock tune 2019 Mustang stock airbox. Stock unported 18 manifold, do a dyno pull. Bolt on your ported manifold, do a dyno pull. Now, the porters would go, well, that's stupid. I ported it. So you need a bigger throttle body and bigger cold air. So how do we know your porting is making more power and not the throttle body and the cold air? Look, man, this is just one of those things that people have latched onto. It's placebo effect. I think for the money you're spending on porting, for the 6 horsepower difference you're gonna get on, is not worth it, in my opinion. He's got high flow fire alarms. From the time I got my blower and fuel system installed by Jason Roth and got both the 93 and E85 tunes all the way to the Magnum swap, I've never had a single issue. Lund and you, my sir, are king, not me. I am not anything. I use the tunes that are available to me, and those are Lund Racing tunes, and I fuck with those. And if anything is magical, is that shit. Jesus Christ tells Mike Rasovic, I can't just tell him to buy Alex his old red car. He'll see me soon enough. Holy shit. Holy shit. NA guys swear they see 30 rear wheel horsepower from a ported intake. Then verify it for me. Go on a dyno and verify it for me back to back. I bet you it doesn't make anything. Now, boosted, totally different. Totally different. You are now, what do you call it? Falsely adding old air. Falsely, you're adding air that should not be getting in there. You're forcing it in there. So like a centrifugal or turbo, yes, the porting will help it. But when it's sucking instead of blowing, like Spaceballs, totally different setup. Jesus ain't got that credit score. Free flowing fire alarms. And I think Texas, Real Texas Heavy Hitter says, when is Alex going to buy that ZR1? Guys, it's not. You think I'm going to buy that ZR1 like next month? If I sold the GT500, I'd buy the ZR1 immediately. But if I keep the GT500, it might take me a month or two. No big deal. Your office looks like a Subaru meet. All that smoke comes out of Alex's head when he's tuning 956 a la verga. Cuz.
Pero pinche 956 a la verga. Cuz.
Who cares how much power it say? What's the time slip say? Second shift racing? I'm going to piss you off. The vast majority of people don't care what it runs. You're going to hate this because it goes everything against everything your channel stands for and against everything you stand for. The vast majority of people out there that have Mustangs or performance cars in general don't give a shit what Slip says. They care what the dyno says. These guys don't race second shift racing. These guys don't drag race. Drag race compounds or drag race tracks are closing everywhere we go. By the way, shout out to Bradenton for selling dirt. See that? Cletus is next door, so I'm sure they got the idea from Cletus. But if you want some dirt from Bradenton, it's available. Sheesh. What is the world coming to? So anyway, people don't care what the car runs. People don't give a shit what the car runs anymore, second shift racing. All they care about is the fucking stupid dyno sheet. Tune erase the codes on the fire alarm. Porting the manifold seems like a risk. Cracking the causing the vacuum leak. Garage built. Coyote. Greg. I've seen that so much that I've started to tell people to reinstall parts. So this is what I tell people when they have a massive vacuum leak. I say, just humor me, sir. Can you just reinstall your parts? And he goes, what the fuck? People protest. Fuck you. I don't want to take the parts off and put them on again. Sir, do me a favor, please. Take everything you just put on, take it off, put it on again. And wouldn't you know it, magically, sometimes when they do that, they find a step they missed, a bolt they forgot to tighten down, a gasket they forgot to insert, a kink they didn't notice on one of the couplers, and it magically fixes any issues. Now, when it doesn't, I'm going to say, is your manifold ported? And they're going to go, why, yes. Well, do me a favor, get the manifold out, flip it upside down, and show me how much material there is around the O-ring wall. And a lot of times, the O-ring wall collapses. The inner part, closest to where the air is moving, not to the outside, towards the inside. Because that's the part that gets ported. And a lot of times, people that port, not all of the porters, but some people that port, make that part too thin. And when the O-ring decides to go, I need this wall I need to use this wall to push out again so I can seal, it goes whoop, and there's not enough wall there to actually push back against the O-ring, and now you have unmetered air getting into the engine. That's called a leak, and that's because of porting. Last 3 minutes off the clock. See you later, Alex. What's he talking about? Thank you all for your help putting a little S197 in the Supercar League. Been having too much fun playing around with these high-end cars lately. You got it. Hello, people that don't care about ET. Didn't have dads growing up. This guy's cocky. Shake my head. What is he talking about? Who's this fucking dud? Who is this fucking dud saying this guy's cocky? Don't you know this show, dumbass? Dynos are a tool, not the end. Fender to fender matters. Any horsepower number doesn't matter if it can't hook. Saw a guy have a 900 horsepower Whipple 18 and run a 13. I had to wash my eyeballs. I'm with second shift. I want to see what ADB goes faster. I like the vet dudes that 750 don't look as good as 1,000 on that hat. Where's Turvey to diagnose the smoke in Alex's room? Let's go all the way down to the bottom. Alex, thanks for turning the CELs off for me, says SK Performance Jeff. Takes 10 minutes for an intake manifold. Exactly. Turvey is already in there with the smoke, checking Alex's smoke machine. The vet guy with the dyno numbers on the hat sells some smoke in a Ziploc. I mean, guys, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what's happening out there. Why is there 3 open holes on the grill of the 18 Mustang for the intake? I feel there's like a legit and dumb question at the same time. Aha! Do you think Ford just randomly made certain holes in the grill to feed the cold air intake? Or did they notice that too much air pressurizing the airbox at speed skewed the MAF signal and made the car drive badly? So what happens when you geniuses put grill deletes in your Mustangs that have a very sensitive MAF sensor? What happens when you go to your certain parts house and buy a certain grill delete? And then you say, hey, the car's driving weird for no reason. Sir, did you do a grill delete? Well, Alex, yes. How did you know? The math signal is super fucked. What do I do about that? I don't know. Ford spent probably $1 million designing that mass airflow system and the cold air. Do you think they just drilled 3 holes because somebody lost a bet and say, 4 or 3? 3. No, they put that sucker in a pressurized situation. They run it through tests. They see what's the best drivability. They know what they're doing. And a lot of you guys take Ford's design, rip it out in stock form, and wonder why it's not driving like stock. Come on, stop it. Alice, you think any guys take faster shits because they have a ported culo? Damn. He's dizzy because he supports Biden. Can a crankshaft relearn fix a misfire issue? Yes. Andres Martinez. Every new tune that is flashed on a car theoretically should have to have a crank relearn performed on it. The car now needs to learn what the flywheel mass is. And if the flywheel mass is not learned on the car, spark wouldn't be accurate, and it will throw misfire codes if you do not perform a crank relearn. Overall, do you think the S550 platform is better than the S197? For drag racing, I like the S197 platform. For S550, mostly road racing and dailying, but the drag race setup is badass. The only issue is the IRS needs a lot of attention. To make it not wheel hop, not snap axles left and right. It's just busier back there. But for drag racing, I think the S197 is still king. Hey, Alex, will turning the lights out and putting hair around it help me find the vacuum leak? Hair around it? Why would you want to put hair around it? Hey, Alex, will turning the lights out and putting hair around it help me find the vacuum leak? Cole, why would you want to put hair around something that has a vacuum leak? Weird question. Can you turn off my grill delete codes? Because it's messing with my roll race blower's drivability. No, it's not. What tire would you recommend for prep, no prep on a 4x4 RCSB? There was a car in Valley Racing. Shout out to them. And Desert 1320. It was a red F-150, and it had ET Street R's all the way around. And it did really well. Now, if you want to do no prep stuff, the bias ply, like people like Manuel are using, you have to write the fine combo, though. It's not just here's put some Hoosiers and go. Sometimes you need, depending on how the truck launches, you might need a mismatch setup or a stiff in the back and a soft in the front, or a soft in the back and a stiff in the front. It depends on what the truck likes. Honestly, you're going to have to mix and match, but you kind of can't go wrong with 4 ET Street R's on prep. But man, it might wheel hop if you got like a turbo truck launching in second gear. That's a good one. I think you just have to do trial and error, because look, it's like asking an S197 guy, what's the best no prep tire? And I could say, well, a Hoosier. And you're like, well, which Hoosier? And I could say a Mickey Thompson stiff wall slick. I could say many things, but it all depends on the setup. What do you think about ESS 350 Manicams? The same thing I think about Vortex 350 Manicams. The same thing I think about ProCharger 350 Manicams. It's fine. I don't know what you want me to do. Why do people mention brands as opposed to the type of supercharger? Why do you think ESS is any different than a Vortex in terms of how the power is delivered? I don't think the car cares. Does the car know it has an ESS and not a ProCharger? Does the car know that you have a Whipple or a Odin or a Edelbrock up top? The car doesn't know. All it knows is the air that's coming in, at what rate and what throttle body, what injector, what MAF housing size. Kind of an odd question. Our Relearn helped. If the hair moves, he can find the leak, I'm assuming. Alex, you think it's too hot to do a 60 to 130? The Gen 2 hood had paint coming off at high speeds, right? Which is Gen 3. The Gen 2 hood had paint coming off at high speeds, right? What? Gen 3 was redesigned. Not that it had paint. I remember my Gen 2, actually Lund Racing's orange Gen 2, when I first worked for Lund, the first go around, I'd go down the half mile and there was a gap like this on the hood. And I think that had more to do with what we did under the car. I think we took out the I forget what you call it, the part under the car that kept the air out from under the engine bay. And I think we put an aftermarket grill in the car too, which allowed too much air to get in there and it pressurized everything. So after we installed a helicopter tape is what they call it, or racing tape, and put a little slit right by where the radiator was, the hood never came up again. It was actually, I think it's a grill / belly pan design more than the actual hood itself. At what point do you go turbo over a Sentry? It depends on where you mount the Sentry. Second shift racing. If you have a crank mounted Sentry, I think turbos are not going to hang with a setup like that, right? A crank mounted Billy badass Sentry. But if you're talking, let's say Coyote, Gen 2 or Gen 3, I think when you want to make 800-900 horsepower on the fly, it's all about adjustability, right? If you want to pulley a Sentry to 900, it's a pain in the ass to get it back down to 600. Whereas with a turbo, you just turn the boost controller off and you got a 7-pound spring. Turn it on, you can have up to 21 PSI. I think it's all about adjustability more than anything. It's an old joke about finding out the cooch, just combine it with people not seeming to know how to find a vacuum leak. If you drag a hearse, you want stiff in the back. I'll see myself out. Heavy hitter. Got you. You got it. Heavy hitters. Real Texas heavy hitters. I didn't mean the type of supercharge. I meant the Manny with the cams rather than the 18 Manny with the stock cams. Why are people fascinated by cams? Tell me, guys, what do you think cams do? Can you guys type down what you think cams do to a car? Like, seriously. And I would hope that the people that don't really know, like the people that don't know the answer and want to speculate, what do you think putting a set of 433, 430 comp stage 2 cams on a Gen 3 does to your car? Let's say your car runs 720, stock manifold, stock cams, converter, and a 150 60 foot. If you were to put cams in that exact same setup, see, Texas, you're wrong. Boy, are you guys kidding? What? Are you guys kidding? You guys, okay, this is good. This is good. Do you guys think, are you being serious or are you thinking that's what they think? I want to know the people that don't know what they actually think, not the people that know and make fun of. Raise RPMs. What do you mean by that? Right. I think most guys do cams to say they did cams. Right. So you guys, okay, so I don't know if these guys are saying what they think is going to happen, but an aftermarket cam on a Coyote will not chop unless you make it chop just like a Ghost Cam idle tune. Let me get down to the bottom. Reduce cylinder. Oh my Lord, I love you, Sam 50. I love you. Help top end. Moves the power curve. Gonna lose some low end torques. High end power and that choppy. Wrong. No choppy on a Coyote with cams. Zero choppy. Move the power way up. Cams, not a cam. Cams. Pushes the power range to a higher RPM. Right. Nobody cares about ET, you said. Yes, I understand that. But what do you think cams do? Because what happens is when people drag race or race on the street and they go, hey, I used to beat my buddy by a car. Now he, from a dig, he's out and I have to catch up. Why is that? Cams don't automatically add horsepower. They move the power curve to the right so you make more horsepower at higher RPMs. And yes, S550NA, it reduces 8th mile ET. If you have an 18 manifold Gen 3 10R80 car with a stock converter and stock cams, and then you put cams in it, you will go slower or less quick. If it's a 7.2 car, it might become a 7.3 car. But if you put it on the dyno, it might make a little bit more horsepower up top. I think if you are going to buy cams, you have to pair it with the right manifold and drivetrain changes to take advantage of those cams. If you're considering buying cams on your Gen 3, you should consider a torque converter. You should consider a CJ also. Because it makes no sense to buy cams. Guys, people have made 1,400 horsepower with stock cams. I don't understand the fascination with stock cams, with aftermarket cams on an NA setup. It is so weird to me when people even consider buying cams naturally aspirated when stock cams give you more torque. And by the time you buy the cams and install them, you're going to be into it for about $2,000. That's crazy to me. This might be a dumb question, but what makes a Coyote much better than a Trinity? If the Trinity is pretty much what a Coyote with largest, wrong. See, you're wrong. But let's teach you. Better head design. Variable cam timing. Higher RPM range. And a Trinity is done at 850 based on the stroke and the rods, whereas a Coyote can make 1,000 and pretty much live for a long time. A Roadrunner, which is a boss version of a Coyote, can make 1,000. No problem. A Trinity is done at 850. It has a less efficient cylinder head design. When people say it's pretty much a Coyote, no, it's not. It's a 4-valve, Eric Chapman. It's a 4-valve. It is not the same family. It does not have variable cam timing. Yes, it has bigger displacement and way more torque. But you're going to make more power with a Coyote than a Trinity-based motor, plain and simple. Coyote equals no need for cams. Coyote's not a 454, 351, or a 350 pushrod motor. Matt 2011 GT says, thanks again for the promotion. Here's some smoke machine money. I'm not going to hit it again because it's not going to go away for a long time. Let's give Jason, Jayson, the cookies. So Melissa and EPA, if you're on, please, let's give Jason, Jayson, the cookies or the coffee, whatever he wants. So Jayson, do me a favor. If you can hit up EPA/Lake/James, I think that's his name, and his wife Melissa, DoMyGodCookies _LLC on Instagram, DoMyGodCookies.com. Hit them up. You got yourself some cookies. Let's give those away and get done with that. The only fascination with cams is because the bros think it's going to give the chop and able to say Cam 5.0 cringe. Yes, not a Coyote. The 3.7 is a lot closer to the Coyote than the Trinity. Stockhead studs, it won't live at 1,000 horsepower. Even Gen 2 Coyote, no shot. Okay, got it. Okay, real Texas heavy hitters. It's not like I've tuned a bazillion stock studded Roadrunners and Gen 2 Mustangs with bone stock motors. It's not supposed to live long at 1,000 anyway. Forget the studs. The rods won't live long at 1,000. But I'm saying you can make 1,000 on a Coyote, whereas a Trinity, you're going to blow it up real early. This chat needs to watch Engine Masters to learn engine characteristics. You know what the funny thing is? They won't get it. And a lot of people on this chat are not that interested in the nitty-gritty engine stuff, second shift racing. You're going to come to realization real quick that I came to a long time ago about politics. You're going to come to the same realization that I came to a long time ago about politics. It doesn't fucking matter. A lot of people don't give a shit how an engine works. A lot of people don't give a fuck about cylinder pressure. They'll say, tell me what parts I need to buy to run X. Tell me what parts I need to buy to run this number. Same thing with politics. Who is the lesser of the two evils? It's not about Democrat. It's not about Republican. It's not about Libertarian. Who is the lesser of the two evils? And that's who I vote for. Because it doesn't fucking matter. And once you realize that, it makes life a lot easier. I stopped caring about the knowledge of the customers. No offense to the customers, but the more I understood that they don't care. They don't care about engine characteristics, cylinder pressure, cam profiles, springs, retain. They don't care. All they want is to go fast. And how much money does it take? How many of you guys have seen a Mustang guy go from a Mustang to a Camaro, Ian Martha, to a Hellcat, back to a Mustang? That's not a Mustang guy. That's a who can go the fastest and what's popping right now guy. And that is 80% the bulk of the buying public. The 20% or maybe 10% give a fuck about the minutia like you and I do, second shift racing. But the rest don't give a fuck. And once you realize, oh, people don't care. They just want an end to them. They just want a result. They don't care about how you got there. They don't even want the explanation. All they want is, I want to go nines. What's it take? Here's a credit card. Here's my Affirm account. Fuck it. And that's fine. But we can't expect these people to give a fuck about exactly what's happening in the engine when they mod the car. You need the right gearing, the right converter, the right manifold, tire height to take advantage of the cams. You'll spend the same amount of cams you would on boost. Ask me how I know. You're hurting my motor's feelings. Smiles, we're in a recession, just need the extra income. No, I am Alex. I like to research Coyote specifics and engine characteristics. I didn't say you. I'm saying most. Oh my God. I just think there's no point if it's going to blow the fuck up. Cool, it can make 1,000. It's not going to last too long. Real Texas heavy hitters, customers don't give a fuck. They want that 1,000. If you buy an on-3 kit, twin pump 4 Innovations fuel system, and you're going to go 85, you're going to want that 1,000. You don't give a fuck what happens. That's what we deal with. And that's the cards we're dealt. So we have to say, look, this is what's going to happen. You can make 1,000 on a glory hit, but I wouldn't go over 800 a lot. What the question was is Texas heavy hitters is which one is better, the Trinity or the Coyote? And by far, it's the Coyote. Alex, about the parts, not to my damn car. Oh, Captain, my captain. I went to school for automotive technology, and there, wow. Well, you didn't go for English, that's for sure. I went to school for automotive technology, and THEIR, I learned people don't care and won't listen. People mod their cars like they're playing Forza, but Alex, it's just a 2-valve sponsored by a firm. Ridiculous. I give a fuck. To be honest, it sounds like most of these fashion trends, what's most popping right now. Exactly. When you see a Mustang guy, right, you go, oh, badass, let's build it. And then he trades it in for a Camaro, and I go, what? Then the next month, he's got a Scat Pack, and you're like, oh, you're not a Mustang guy. You just want to go fast and buy the fastest car people are telling you is the fastest, as opposed to, well, let me build it to go fast. Fuck that. Scat Pack's faster than a GT. Oh, really? Well, let me trade it in. Oh, fuck the Scat Pack. You got to buy the Camaro. Oh, I got to buy the Camaro? Okay. And you're rolling over. Dude, I've seen it so many times. I done learned real good, like. And yeah, agreed, 100%. Coyote's better than Trinity. Not arguing at all. You know, I understand. Tone doesn't come across on this chat. I get it. Dynamic compression, bye. He said dynamic compression. I don't care. He sat back in the back of the room for sure. People who don't know how to spell, straight down you go. Best auto run on a 1650, 520, or 530. Depends. Just put what's on the cap. I went from an LS1 GTO to a Boss 302, and I wanted a Z20 LS7, but goddamn COVID, inflation, clout chasing. They'll teach you a thing or two. Those are transgenders of the car world. Too many clout chasers. They also don't understand that big headers kill torque down low. Second shift racing, I want to tell you, if there are 50 NA guys. There's an NA Coyote forum. Like, there's an NA Coyote forum, okay? And once one dumbass got 2-inch headers and said, that Coyote needs to breathe. Wouldn't you know that about 5 or 6 of those stupid ass motherfuckers, stupid ass motherfuckers, got 2-inch primary headers on a stock cammed Coyote where the port is like half the size. 2-inch headers. And then they started talking about scavenging and back pressure in that group. The most AIDS, Freddie Mercury, 1983 AIDS group in the history of car groups. Bro. Have you ever worked in any 3M plants? No, I have not. That Coyote needs boost and a lung tune. That's it. Exactly. Everyone thinks because heads and cams make power on an LS, it'll make power on a Coyote. That just shows that the LS needs a cam, not that a Coyote needs a cam too. Right. Like, I know if I buy a ZR1, HCI has to happen. Heads, cam, well, not intake, but heads and cam. And maybe port the blower, like a Kong port. Right? So, and head cam have to happen on a ZR1, and then take it to Kong on the 2300 and be like, yo, hook up this 2300, or have Rami, he's got a ported 2300, put it on the ZR1, 4 innovations fuel system, E85, big injectors, treat it kind of the same, and then just send that bitch down the pipe. 2-inch headers, so you want to make 1200 horsepower? Right. These guys were legitimately putting 2-inch headers on an NA car. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. 400 people watched today and 451 likes? Guys, amazing. How many? What was the highest count here? Let me see. We got up to 435? 439. We got to 439. We got to 439 at around 9 p.m. and 452 likes. That's what I like to see. I appreciate you guys very much for doing that for me because it matters. It makes me happy that you guys have almost 100% engagement, because if you have 100% engagement, YouTube loves it and they actually start to spread it around. Thank you very much for indulging me on this show where we talk a little shit, a little smoke. We talked setups, we talked scams, we talked blowers, we talked misspelled words, we talked what cams do on Coyotes. So hopefully if you tuned in for the first time, you learned a little bit about Coyotes. This show is dedicated to mostly Coyotes or Ford related topics. So if anything else happens Ford related or anything like that, this is the channel to go to. I am on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Sunday morning. Wednesday and Saturday I am off. So don't ask when I'm on again. We'll go from there. Congrats to Jason winning the cookies. Congrats to Matt 2011 GT becoming the 3rd moderator, because we need it. The show is growing, so we need someone like that who's loyal. Him, JD Swag, and YouTube Corrupt, thank you very much for being the mods on the chat. I'm going to get out of here. I will not be on tomorrow, but I will be on tomorrow for the dating channel. That dating channel. If you don't know about that dating channel, go over there, type it in on YouTube. It's a fun time. It's all dating stuff, no car shit. Some of the most real dating talk you'll see out there when it comes to dating from the point of view of someone my age and what's out there, especially in the South Florida dating scene. It's a good time. You won't regret it. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, for some live chat over there. And then back on this guy Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love you guys. Thank you very much for hanging with me for a little bit. I'll see you guys Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for YDBT Daily, and the rest of you tomorrow. So I finally got it up here. Where is it? Here we go.
Thanks a lot.
Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Fucking idiot.
Have a good one, guys. See you later.